Before we get started, thank you for clicking on this video. I'm telling you now, the celebrity secrets we're about to uncover will leave you speechless. With that being said, let's get into it.
If you laughed at the Drewski Erica Kirk thing, then straight up you gotta laugh at this. And you'll know I got no love for Jake Paul. He's a wall kisser. But yeah, that's funny. It's funny. I don't know. The Drewski thing was funny. This is also funny. Hey, by the way, I know that there's been 4 whistleblowers over the last few decades who have come out claiming the exact same pattern of ritual child sacrifice at Bohemian Grove amongst the world's elites, and every time they just get discredited and disappear from the media. Let's start with Fiona Barnett, Australian lass back in, I think, the 60s or 70s, came out with accusations that she was assaulted by the Prime Minister, the Interior Minister of Finance, and then a future Prime Minister. She wrote a book about it. You want to know what I found interesting? I was Googling her after I found out about her. This is what comes up on Google. So they've literally, they've made this cute little author, Fiona Barnett, but it's the only images that come up. You don't even get an image on Google search anymore for this woman, the original one. And then, interestingly enough, the book that they made the fake Fiona write is called The Darkness Between the Trees, which is basically Bohemian Grove. Now, the fictional novel that Fiona Barnett wrote is about soldiers in a war or something. But like, isn't that so cruel? So they're literally like erasing this woman from history and replacing her with this little cute version that wrote a fiction book. But the fiction book itself is still referencing Bohemian Grove. Fiona also went on to say that they dressed her up as a teddy bear at Bohemian Grove and then hunted the children dressed as teddy bears. Moving on. You have MK Ultra survivor confirmed, Kathy O'Brien. She came out saying that Bohemian Grove was the first Epstein Island, or just a version of Epstein Island. Not the first. Sadly, these things have existed forever. The fuck? Anyways, she was assaulted by Reverend Billy Graham, good friends with Richard Nixon. She mentioned something about globalists stealing elections and a new world order. But I'm sure that's just hogwash. Crazy talk.
All right, we've got more proof that the Artemis moon mission has been faked and they're using CGI. Look at this ball. You can see words and letters through it it's like a glitch. They messed up. They weren't trying to show you guys that, but there's a certain layer on this completely CGI object, and part of the colors are not working right, and they're revealing the text behind it. And they asked this guy to move it. This Artemis moon mission had one goal, and that is to red pill the entire population about what has actually been going on with NASA for the past 60 years, ever since they first went to the moon in 1969. They're showing you all these errors on purpose to get the public thinking about the fact that, oh, wait a second, has this been faked before? Has everything been an entire lie this whole time? Has this all been done on green screen with a film crew and professional directors such as Stanley Kubrick, who know how to fake a scene to make it look believable and emotionally connect to the viewer and get them attached to it? People are now learning the truth about all this. Yes, it has been filmed on a green screen this entire time.
Interesting. That is absolutely crazy.
Okay, this video was recorded from an Argentinian Navy aircraft. The lights on the ocean here are 300 Chinese shipping vessels, which go off the coasts of countries once they're in international waters, and they go crazy. You do this off the coast of the Galapagos Islands, all over the place, especially third world countries. They go to third world countries, they don't even have much of a navy at all, and they fish all hell out of that freaking ocean, man. And this is the same thing off the coast of Peru. Chinese fishing vessels arriving to fish everything they can. And notice they stay outside of the zone. So they're not technically in Peruvian waters. They're at the very edge and they get everything they freaking can. Now, I know that in China, a common greeting, we have like, hey, how you doing? Their common greeting is, have you eaten? And apparently this started because of the great famine they went through, which traumatized so many millions of people, that now it's all about, if you can eat, eat now. If you can get as much as you can. And my grandfather-in-law was Hungarian and fled Hungary during the Soviet occupation in the 1950s. And he still to this day, or up until he passed rather, would get every single baked good he could freaking get his hands on, because when he was a little boy, he couldn't get any. Sweet cakes, cookies, chocolate stuff. He became like a hoarder for it because it traumatized him so much being young, seeing it in the shops, not being able to afford it. But this has, bled over into overfishing the heck out of the freaking oceans, man. You got to let it repopulate. Otherwise, we're all screwed. So I do wonder what the solution is here. I mean, laws, are they going to follow them? I don't know. But clearly this isn't a big deal for the major corporations that are controlling our world. Otherwise, something would be being done about it. But there's probably no profit in stopping China from overfishing the ocean. So I don't know how motivated they would be to do that work. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
Today I'm going to destroy NASA because they are lying to you. So if you guys are unaware, Artemis 2
statement.
went to the moon on
say
April
on video.
1st, or April Fool's Day. But if that's not enough, let's look at the name. So the name NASA in Hebrew means to beguile, or to deceive. And if you look at the logo, you can literally see the serpent tongue that goes right through it. And across history, the serpent literally means what? Deception. You're probably asking, what are they hiding from us? They can't go to the moon. There is a firmament in the sky. In 1962, there was a project called Project Fishbowl. Basically what it was a series of missiles they shot up into space that exploded because they can't go to space. And of course, this project failed. If you look across history, all these civilizations told us that our world is a dome. The only people telling us that our world is a ball, a spinning globe, is NASA. And I know I'm not the biggest Bible advocate because it is fallible text, but here's the cherry on top. In the very beginning of Genesis 1:6-8, and God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. You have to understand that they have to give you droplets of the truth. They would not distort something this significant for no reason. Because if you believe we're spinning on a globe, flying through formless space, through an endless universe that has existed for billions and billions of years, all of a sudden your life starts to feel insignificant, like an accident, like temporary. And when you feel insignificant, the idea of a creator seems distant. It doesn't even seem like a truth that could be a possibility. But if you flip the perspective for a second and you realize what we are living in is something contained in the midst of the waters, your existence would not feel like a coincidence anymore. And in that kind of world, you would have complete conviction that the creator is all. It's here.
Breaking news. At this time, this was yesterday or last night, emergency crews are on the scene of a massive fire at an egg farm near Corwith, Iowa, which has spread to multiple buildings. So egg farms on fire, Nebraska's on fire, fuel or energy crisis looming. This kind of reminds me, you realize they're talking about lab-grown meat and lab-grown butter and all this crazy stuff, but no one's going to eat that stuff unless there are very, very few alternatives. In other words, if the whole food system were to collapse and change drastically, that's the only way they'd have any chance of implementing the lab-grown strange stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's an interesting situation that in the last 100 years, we went from 75% of people grew their own food, knew how to farm, knew how to can, knew how to jar, and now 95, 98% of people live in cities. Well, it's actually 50% of the planet lives, 50% of the world lives on 1% of the land, but my point is that people aren't farming anymore. We're totally dependent on grocery stores and gigantic factory farms. So they get us dependent on it, and then they pull the plug and take us to the next stage of their control system. Now, I can't say I have all the solutions to this shocking situation that's going on, but I can say there is a concerted effort to keep you in a lowered state of consciousness and alter your vibrational frequency with the crazy chemicals in the food, air, and water supply. And right now, Chalk is giving away free $100 bags of the organic heirloom cacao from Bolivia, the Chalk Lit Powder, which is super detoxifying and delicious. And if you combine that with the hot water purified Shilajit, you're getting some of the most potent adaptogens in the natural world. Comment free below and check your DMs for details.
Stop what you're doing. This man, while 160,000 miles away from planet Earth on a journey to the moon, just made a statement without any preparation that is going viral.
I think these observances are important. And as we are so far from Earth and looking back at, the beauty of creation, I think for me, one of the really important personal perspectives that I have up here is I can really see Earth as one thing. And, when I read the Bible and I look at all of the amazing things that were done for us who were created, it's you have this amazing place, this spaceship. You guys are talking to us because we're in a spaceship really far from Earth, but you're on a spaceship called Earth that was created to give us a place to live in the universe, in the cosmos. Maybe the distance we are from you makes you think what we're doing is special, but we're the same distance from you. And I'm trying to tell you, just trust me, you are special. In all of this emptiness, this is a whole bunch of nothing, this thing we call the universe. You have this oasis, this beautiful place that we get to exist together. I think as we go into Easter Sunday, thinking about, all the cultures all around the world, whether you celebrate it or not, whether you believe in God or not, this is an opportunity for us to remember where we are, who we are, and that we are the same thing and that we got to get through this together.
What did you think of that message? Was that exactly what humanity needed to hear with all of the things going on in the world? Or do you feel a different way about that? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to stay up to date with what's going on in the world and much more.
NASA just officially dropped the second batch of Artemis photos, and honestly, some of these are more insane than the ones I showed you yesterday. Yesterday, I was able to show you the Earthrise, the eclipse, and the craters, but NASA was apparently hiding the best of them for last. They were able to capture a photo of the Milky Way galaxy from over 200,000 miles away with zero atmosphere and zero light pollution. It's beautiful. But also, there's now the brand new eclipse photos that are on a completely different level, and there are way more of them this time. In some of the photos that they were able to get, you can actually see the Orion spacecraft in the frame. That is like the ultimate selfie. And then there's the crew photos, which is obviously all 4 astronauts floating with the American and Canadian flags, taking group photos 250,000 miles away. They even just took a photo of all of them wearing solar eclipse glasses and just grinning at the camera. These are officially the farthest selfies that have ever been taken in human history, and they look like they're having the time of their lives. They were 250,000 miles away from Earth, and they were posing for group photos with solar eclipse glasses on. Priorities.
Jeffrey Epstein was obsessed with the color blue, and it has to mean something. So I talked about this in one of my longer videos, but if you take a look at Epstein's properties, the color blue is more prevalent than almost any other color. And it's used in such strange ways. Like, for example, blue carpet like this. I mean, when do you see something like this? You've got blue couches. You've got blue artwork. You've even got blue on the curtains. Obviously, this room is a blue lover's fever dream. You've got blue on the floor, blue on the cushioning. You've got an actual blue chandelier. You've got blue on the curtains, blue on the patterning painted on the walls. Now, entering one of the hallways in the residence, blue curtains once again. And here's another look at that blue room. You've even got a blue table and a blue lamp. Epstein's kind of main office room, I think this is like a bluish pillar to the left. Blue frame, and then the ceiling is painted this dark kind of royal blue. Here's a better look at that ceiling. I mean, you can't make this up. This was in Epstein's house. A literal blue sculpture. Like, I don't want to say it, but a sculpture. Moving on to the bathroom, you've even got blue towels. You've even got entire rooms that were painted blue, like this room. Blue on the bed. I mean, there's blue on the carpet again here. Here's another hallway with what appear to be blue highlights on the walls, and then that very distinct blue carpet. And all the way to the upstairs of the home. I mean, the blue stairs is just crazy. And it opens up at the top to blue walls. To me, this is just so unbelievably strange. I mean, there's even like a blue, what is this, an electrical cord that something's hanging on? I couldn't really tell you. So what is up with this fascination? Why the color blue? I've asked a lot of people, and I have looked into this myself many times, and I haven't been able to find a definitive answer or even a potential answer as to why he would be obsessed with this color and be placing it everywhere. But if you have any ideas or suggestions, please let me know, because this is just something that I've noticed looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of photos relating to this case. And it's really, really bizarre to me. He is literally obsessed with the color blue. Go look at the photos from his other properties. That obsession is still apparent at those other properties as well. I mean, all the way to the temple on Epstein Island. But yeah, let me know your thoughts below and follow along for more.
So, every single year, Colorado celebrates a frozen dead guy. Yes, this is 100% real.
Let's talk about it. So let's go back to the 1980s where a man named Bretto, he ended up dying in a place called Nederland, Colorado. Now his family thought science could bring him back. So they literally put him on dry ice and put him in a shed. And yeah, he's literally still there today. I have no idea how. But here's the even wilder part. Yes, this gets wilder. Instead of them shutting it down, they turned it into a festival. And it's literally called the Frozen Dead Guy Festival. Yeah, they have things like put people in a coffin and throw them down a hill race. They have Frozen themed competitions. They've got dressed like a Viking day, and all of this to celebrate a frozen dead human being. So let me ask you this. Is this a respectful tribute, or is this one of the craziest things you've ever heard, or an intersection of both? I'd like to hear in the comments below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Pizza delivery man's one small act of kindness is now changing his life. 68-year-old Dan, the Domino's pizza delivery man, was delivering an order when he saw that they had tried to order Diet Coke, but his store was out. He decided to make a stop along the way to get them the Diet Coke they were wanting. When the family getting their pizza was in shock that he went out of his way to get them their drink, he told them not to worry about it because their $6 tip they had already given him for the order was more than enough. But the people getting this pizza and their drink were stunned. They didn't have any more cash to tip him to thank him for his kindness. So they shared Dan, the pizza delivery man's small act of kindness online and then started a GoFundMe. And when Dan found out about it, he was shocked to see how much it had raised.
Yes, it just blew up and went crazy, which I find hard to believe. And I think now it's up to $18,465. I checked just before you guys got here. That blew me away.
But that was the last time he checked it. In the last 24 hours, it has now reached over 130,000. That's how much the average donation is. You guessed it, $6. Proving how compassion for others touches so many more lives than we realize. How one small act of kindness can grow into something life-changing.
That's so nice. That's really nice. You see, that's the stuff I'm into.
The deadliest rabbit hole of all time.
Good.
That's what people have called this website, and I decided to explore it with no prior research. Since last video, I discovered that I can actually click on these pictures and they will bring me to other links. And that Mickey Mouse picture immediately brings me to this webpage. Welcome to the Laughing Horse's Orifice headquarters. It's talking about human flesh, 777, a lot of weird stuff going on. And strangely, like some of the other ones, there is text hidden behind this green background that you can highlight and actually read. This is talking about some kind of like cells that were found in a water source in 2001, turning the water red that had no presence of DNA inside them. Pretty weird. I don't know what it means. Along with that, up here, we have reverse engineering the Bush presidency. Flight 77 disappeared from the radar over the southern Ohio. Talking about something with 9/11, I'm pretty sure. Quickly, if you like ARGs, internet mysteries, or even the dark web, join my Discord, link in bio. Now from here, I want to go a little bit deeper. I know these are usually links, so I'm going to click on the 777. Okay, so we have Donald Trump, Pinochet option, a CIA neoliberal mind control, Bush, Clinton, and Habsburg. I don't know what any of this is. Expect more updates. It's probably an ARG or an art project, so please don't spoil it for me in the comments.
It appears the A-10 Warthog isn't going away anytime soon. It's still getting updates and was seen testing with a refueling probe. This is how they're typically refueled from KC-135s, but now, as you see here, they'll be able to use a drogue, meaning they can refuel from a C-130 as well.
Whoa, technology.
China just revealed a drone the size of a mosquito so that it could spy on you from the inside of a room, and you would never even know that it's there. China's National University of Defense Technology unveiled it on state military TV. It weighs 0.3 grams, less than a raindrop, 2 centimeters long, and wings that beat 500 times per second. It mimics the flight pattern of a real mosquito. It's invisible to radar, and you control it with just a smartphone. It can go through windows, through vents, into any room a bug can reach. They're calling it informational reconnaissance and special missions on the battlefield. Battlefield. Right, because governments only ever do surveillance on just the battlefield. In Black Mirror's episode, Hated in the Nation, robot bees, or tiny autonomous drones the size of insects, were hijacked so that they could assassinate people. Experts are already comparing this drone that China unveiled to that episode. When surveillance is the size of an insect on your wall, then privacy doesn't just erode, it ceases to exist at all. If you want to continue to stay updated on more dystopian technology news, then sign up for my newsletter through the link in my bio. But as always, think about it, let me know what you think, and follow me.
It's so over. We're so screwed.
We need to talk about this video, which was posted to astronauts. They put it on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. They're literally in space, guys. I'm going to play the full-blown video for you now. Let me know if you notice what I'm noticing.
So this is our last time in the cupola. Yep. And I don't want to cry because the Earth is so beautiful. Oh, I'm already there. It's been a real pleasure to go to space with you. You too. Yeah. I'm just like getting to see something that so few people get to see, which is so much. Make me cry. Oh my God, it is stunning.
What are we looking for?
It's just so beautiful.
Whoa. Say it. Come on, dude. What am I looking at? What's shocking? Why are you shaking your head? Clouds? The clouds?
Won't be home soon.
All right, guys, I literally am in space right now, too. It looks pretty real, right? Wow, it's gorgeous. Woohoo! Space with a fisheye lens and CGI. Boom, bang, bang. When you wake up to the deception that is space and NASA, which literally means to deceive, a lot of things, unlock in your consciousness. Because if that is being fibbed about, you can imagine what else is a complete lie. In fact, some call it the greatest lie of all lies. Because it would hide the existence of, it does a really good job of hiding the existence of God. And making you think you're this insignificant speck hurtling on a rock through space in a bajillion miles an hour, twisting and twirling through the cosmos. We gotta snap out of it, man. We only got a few years till 2030 when they plan to enslave this freaking ball or dome or sphere or flat plane. Come on.
It's a wild conspiracy.
Didn't know, apparently when they say jerky in the Epstein files, they're talking about child meat.
Going crazy? Think they found a code word for human meat? Wait, what?
This is disgusting.
Hope you are feeling better. Did we analyze the jerky? Why didn't we get jerky this week? Beef jerky, delicious. Jojo is here and we'll walk the jerky over to Jeffrey. We'll walk the jerky over to Jeffrey. Why would jerky walk around? Why would it do that? Delicious lunch, beef jerky. Steve and I are very grateful, above all, for your friendship. Some of these emails are so wholesome, aren't they? It's too bad they eat kids. A small insulated bag would be fine. I don't remember checking it. No need for crazy amounts of ice. One should do. There is one bag of beef jerky in the fridge. Please get it. Also, Blank has more at her place. Please get it from her as well. I suppose it needs to be in a cold, insulated bag. Just wanted to touch base about jerky. J.E. said he was going to start eating regular food again, so he might be eating less jerky. He said he has 6 bags of it in the downstairs freezer. Why would you freeze jerky? Steve needs a 6 to 8 ounce portion of jerky. I gave you all the jerky we had, and it lasted only half the amount of time it was meant to.
I don't know. This world, it's so over.
The latest decision being made with this war should have everyone a bit concerned and possibly even scared. And why do I say that? The United States just deployed the E-6B Mercury nuclear command aircraft to the Middle East. And what is an E-6B Mercury plane? It is the actual plane that sends the signal to nuclear submarines. You heard what I said. It is the actual plane that sends the signal to nuclear submarines. And that signal is whether or not to launch a nuclear weapon. And once again, this video is not to fearmonger. It is to educate. We should be scared. We just sent our nuclear plane to the Middle East so that if we need to make a nuclear decision, we can do it within minutes. And you can take a look at it for yourself. E-6B Mercury movement. And you can see exactly that the plane is on the move to the Middle East. And this, once again, is the USA's doomsday plane. And this only comes out in the event of a possible disaster. And once again, they sent this plane right here to the Middle East. And once again, I've come across a lot of videos on social media where people are claiming that if there's a nuclear blast, what they're going to do. I'll give you one guess what you're going to do. Absolutely nothing. And that's reality. And once again, I cannot reiterate, we are living in some dangerous times right now. So once again, this video is not for the purpose of fear-mongering. It's for the purpose of education. And keep it in the back of your mind. Look it up for yourself. This plane right here signifies a lot. And if they have plans of doing what they plan to do, we are going to have a very, very big problem. And I pray for all that we don't. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
When you think of Idaho, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? I bet it's not a super haunted military cemetery or one of the best photos of a ghost ever captured. This photo was taken at the Fort Boise Military Cemetery, and it's probably one of the clearest photos of an apparition I've ever seen. Not just that, there's a very clear orb over one of the fence posts as well. But standing amongst the tall grass behind this giant tombstone, there is a man. And he actually looks like he's wearing military clothes. You can see the details in the man's face. This was taken during a ghost hunt in this cemetery. And the man actually almost looks translucent. Like you can see the fence post behind him as well. And I haven't seen this pointed out on this picture before, but it almost looks like there's something even taller standing next to him right here. But whatever that is, it doesn't look like a human. I'm not sure what that is. It even has a red face, so I'm wondering if it's like one of those interdimensional spirits that I've talked about before. What do y'all think?
That's crazy. You can't argue that. That's literally a person.
Well, Apple updates in the case of Lynette Hooker, the woman who's missing in the Bahamas. For one, now that we have a picture of the dinghy, I mean, it is possible that she fell off the boat due to bad weather. A lot of people were like, why are they getting on a dinghy at 7:30 at night? They were trying to get back to their yacht. At some of these docks, you can't bring a yacht into these smaller marinas. You have to anchor out in the water and then take a dinghy to the marina. They were trying to get back to their yacht and experience bad weather. I will say I do still find it odd that it took him 9 hours to paddle back to shore, and he ended up again in a completely different part of the islands from where they left. Obviously, if the weather was bad enough, that could be why it took him 9 hours. Lynette's daughter has made a statement. She said she is privy to little information relating to her mom's disappearance. My sole concern is to find out what happened to my mother and make sure a full and complete investigation is performed into her disappearance. Obviously, if there are any other updates, I'll keep you guys posted.
You guys think that it's just a coincidence that in 2019, shortly after the mass rollout of 5G technology, we had a massive COVID outbreak, something that is known to affect the respiratory system. Now, maybe I'm just thinking about this too deeply here, but there are some other anomalies that I'd like to share with you guys. Now, if we just go back a little bit further, you guys remember in 2009 when the swine flu pandemic started happening around the world? What's super interesting about that is that's the exact same year that they rolled out 4G technology. Must be just another coincidence, but let's go deeper now. Then we go back to 1998 where they rolled out 3G technology. The exact same time the avian flu outbreak happened. Of course, I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist that doesn't know what he's talking about, but all of these coincidences just seem pretty interesting to me, don't they? It always seems like there's this plan to attack us, to make us sick, to make us weak, docile, stupid, submissive. They're trying to fill their own pockets by keeping us on Big Pharma's conveyor belt or something like that. Like I said, just a crazy conspiracy theorist. Nothing to see here, guys. But if you know, you know. This is why it's never been more important to be of sound body and mind. Take purified, high vibrational supplements like chalk shilajit. Make sure the body has its essential minerals that it needs to run efficiently. Something that our loving government desperately tries to keep from us. And I have incredible lifetime discounts for you guys, so comment the word info and check your DMs. Peace and love.
Guys, I'm blown away by this. Apparently this is real. I saw it on my feed a couple days ago and I'm like, that's obviously AI. Apparently not. I'm gonna show you the video, don't worry, but people are speculating that this could be an angel. But guys, look at the way it moves.
Whoa. Okay, that's AI. That's AI. That's AI, right? That's AI? Please? Right?
Now watch the way it moves right here. Even experts have been talking about it all over social media. Look at one of the comments. As an AI expert, y'all, the light on the ground and on the bushes is very consistent. There is no warping of the background. This may very well be the real deal. Did you see the way it moved? Y'all, that's exactly how the Bible describes angels moving. Like, they say there's a scientific explanation behind it, and that may be true, but what do y'all think?
After reading the Epstein files, we all know the real reason why the Clintons were just admitted into Walter Reed Hospital. It's because they're having increasing symptoms of the Kuru disease, the cannibal brain-eating one. And if you don't know what that is, I'll explain it to you. But first I gotta show you that we knew that Hillary Clinton was sick 10 years ago and was having issues appearing in public. So that's why we haven't seen much of her or her husband, because they've been having this terrible disease which comes from eating brains. If you eat the human brains of someone else, there's this protein called a prion, and it will live inside of you for years and most likely be dormant until your old age, when it starts suddenly having more drastic effects. The most prominent symptom is uncontrollable head shaking and laughter. People with Kuru also have to routinely excrete green mucus from their throat, which is disgusting, but you can see it in this clip right here. And in the later stages of Kuru, as seen with Jeffrey Epstein here, you'll start to see mouth sores pop up all over the place, which are highly transmissible.
Oh my god, wait, can we go back to that Hillary Clinton literally splitting out the green mucus and doing the head shake?
There's an equation that actually suggests that if aliens are real, they could be stuck on the planet they're on. Or at least some of them. This is the Tsiolkovsky rocket equation. And I'm an idiot and I'm not a physicist, but I do know how to read, so I kind of know what it means. This physics rule basically decides whether or not a civilization can get into space. So the problem is that rockets need fuel to go faster, and fuel has weight. So the more weight on the ship, the more fuel needed. Do you see where I'm going? Fuel is pretty heavy, so if you want to go a little bit faster, you will need exponentially more fuel, adding exponentially more weight. On Earth, we can barely do this. The mass of our rockets are 90% fuel or something crazy like that. And that's all just to escape the gravity of your planet. Now, imagine if there was an alien planet with actual beings on it, but it was bigger than Earth. It had more gravity and a thicker atmosphere. To escape their orbit, they would not need just a little bit more fuel. They would need an insane amount of fuel. Even if they were a lot more advanced than us, it's still pretty plausible that they would just hit a wall with physics and just not be able to leave their planet. So theoretically, there could be entire civilizations looking up at the stars, knowing space is real, but they just cannot leave.
I'm going to show you video footage that I acquired on the dark web that shows a different density of water that exists beneath our oceans and our flat earth plane that we live on. From what I've been told on the dark web, this guy in the video has gone missing after this video was released. But if you look down on his feet, you can see he's already underwater, but below him is another density of water that is heavier and exists at the very bottom of everything in our known universe, which is just the Earth surrounded by the firmament. So it shows the heaviest water that there is with an impenetrable ocean. And this is some pretty freaky stuff when you see it, because unconsciously you know that this is not meant for us to be seen. Regular humans are not supposed to see the barriers of our realm that we exist in. But I'm here to tell you, there are ways to get past these barriers and go to other lands that not only exist past the ice wall, but in other planes of existence. And to do that, you basically have to become a different frequency, but I can talk about that in another video.
Some flash type thing vibrating through Earth.
Alright, I'm going to prove to you that those clouds out there are chemtrails, and they are literally creating the weather. So if you look at this screenshot, you can clearly tell it's 1:52, and it's supposed to be cloudy at 3 p.m. Now I'm going to show you a few more clips going to 3 p.m. and after, so you can literally watch it in real time. Them literally creating clouds and covering the sun. Because I'm not lying. I hope y'all realize they literally make the weather. That's how they know the weather. It's almost 2 p.m. right now, and at 3 p.m. for the next few hours, it's supposed to be cloudy. Now just watch. They're not predicting it, they just make it. And here's the proof. It's right in front of your eyes. Please wake up. These are not clouds. They are chemtrails. They make you dumb. They make you sick. They block out the sun, which is the most necessary nutrient on the planet.
That's wild. That's crazy. That's literally proof right there. That's insane.